Train the muscles, not the joints. So seeing as it's kind of a nice day, it's been raining out a little bit, and then now the sun's coming out, so I'll show you a couple shots here. Oh, some nice weather today. Too bad, just a little bit overcast, but some nice coloring to the sky here, as you can see. Pretty nice outside or whatever. I thought I'd do a Q&A session for you guys. So, you know, a couple of you have been asking just to kind of just answer questions really quickly or whatever. So, you know, I'm going to be all high tech on you right now, and I'm going to go into my iPhone and actually look at some of your guys' comments and answer a few of the comments just quickly. You know, usually I make a whole video around one comment just to explain my point, but hey, we'll see what we can come up with here. And hey, for the purposes of just making a different type of video, and maybe you guys like this kind of stuff, we'll do a Q&A today. So thanks for the suggestion. For the guy that suggested it, I can't remember what the name was, but I remember you. Thanks for making the suggestion. Okay, the first question's from Picker Dinner, okay? And he's asking whether he can bench press every single week. Now, I bench press several times a week, sometimes 2 times, sometimes 3 times in a week, actually, because I'm doing more frequent type of training. And of course, I will go to flat dumbbell bench. Sometimes I'll go more to incline, but even so, sometimes I will do flat barbell bench 2 to 3 times in a week, some weeks, okay? So can you do bench press every single week? I would say yes, a resounding yes. You can do certain exercises every week if you want. The difference is a lot of people don't know how to adjust things. So what I mean by this is that say they're feeling a little bit burned out with a certain movement with a certain rep range. So say they're doing 5 reps or really maximal weight or high weight all the time. Then, you know, if you're feeling burned out like that, you can either vary the exercise, or you can vary the reps, or vary the range of motion. Not all exercises have to be done the exact same way. It just depends on how your body is speaking to you at the time, okay? So sometimes you might be changing up your grip. Maybe you're going a little narrower, maybe you're going a little bit wider, and that hits a different part of your chest or a different part of your delt or your tricep. So it is important for you to listen to your body and find out what is a good way to vary up the exercise at this time to make sure that you're not burning out, okay? So once a week, you're never gonna burn out doing the same exercise. I really, you know, highly doubt that. You just cannot manifest the intensity. You know, say you're going to train chest on Monday and then a whole week goes by the time you train chest. I mean, I just don't see you being able to possibly humanly train hard enough that you won't be recovered after 6 days. Unless, of course, you've got some sort of specific health condition that's preventing your recovery. Who knows? Or maybe you're not eating. Maybe you're starving yourself a bit and trying to recover. I don't know. So yeah, that answers that question. Okay, the next question I have right here is from Daniel X23. Okay, and he's saying, how do you keep the tension on the chest, you know, transfer it from the shoulders when you're doing a flat dumbbell bench? Now, the last training vlog I did that I just put up yesterday, okay, so just check that out. It'll be up here or whatever in the card, and it'll also be in the annotations at the end. Okay, make sure you watch that vlog because it's kind of a fun vlog. It's about 20 minutes of me working out and joking around in the gym, but I do show a couple guys in the gym how to do a flat dumbbell bench in that video. Now, a couple things I have to talk about is this. One is you want the shoulders down and back when you want to hit the chest. Of course, that's just standard sort of protocol for a bench press, okay? Whether it's dumbbell or whether it's barbell, okay? Second of all, though, a lot of times people, when they come up with a bench, they'll come and they'll hit the dumbbells together. When they're doing the dumbbell press, they'll hit the dumbbells together, thinking that somehow this is helping an extra squeeze. But see, gravity goes up and down. It doesn't go outwards, right? So this is not really adding to the squeeze. If anything, this is giving you a little bit of a rest and taking the tension off the chest in a lot of cases with flat dumbbell bench. So what I advocate is coming up above the shoulder. So you're above the shoulder, but no closer in. So this helps keep the tension on the chest. That's why you'll notice when I press, I come down and then up, then down, but I don't come like this. I don't rest at the top, I don't lock my elbows. So you do not lock the elbows and you do not touch the dumbbells together. You just, the closest you go is your hands above your shoulder and then right back down again, because you do not want to take that tension off the chest if you want to hit the highest possible intensity from a dumbbell press, okay? The next question is, are you Canadian? Yes, I'm Canadian. I'm on the West Coast by Vancouver. Okay, so Maple Ridge is about 45 minutes east of Vancouver, and that's where the gym is that I train at, is in Maple Ridge. So Harlow76 asked me, how many calories do I eat in a day? And I'm gonna say this, and this is honestly, you know, the way I've always run my diet, okay, my nutrition. And this is just something that might surprise you because we're totally in the left brain age where everybody's like trying to calculate everything and make sure everything is perfect and they're counting everything, weighing everything. I never, ever counted my calories in my whole life. Like honestly, I've never even made an attempt to do it because it just seemed like an extra unnecessary step of weighing my food and doing all this kind of stuff. I never bothered. I just basically said, this is how much meat I want to eat in a day, and I knew, you know, on the package how many ounces that was, and I knew how much protein I was getting from that, and then I would portion out my carb meals by, you know, the handful or by the size of a potato or whatever, and my fats, like say I was getting something from almonds or nuts or something, then I'd say, okay, a handful of nuts, or okay, that didn't sound right. That didn't sound right at all, did it? Okay, a handful of almonds or 2 handfuls of almonds, and I would basically portion my meals that way. I would find out, okay, how do I look? Am I getting leaner? Am I not? If 2 or 3 days go by and I'm retaining water and I'm not getting leaner, then I know that maybe I ate a little bit too much of the calorie foods for energy, you know, like fats and carbs. So I would adjust that way as I went along on my diet, right? A lot of times people are saying, I want to start with a perfect paradigm right away. I want to start with a perfect training program, but that does not exist. What you have to do is just start with a template, any template, and then see how your body adapts and then adjust the variables from there, okay? So that's how I approach my diet and my nutrition. I don't count calories, although I do count portions, right? Okay, Jay Bradley's asking me a question about bench press. He's saying, what do I think about bench pressing collar to collar? So really extremely wide grip. Now, I'm a shorter sort of guy, so this might work for you if you're a real tall guy or something. But remember, if you go too wide in the grip, it may put extra stress and extra tension on your shoulder joints. And you don't want to have too much tension in the shoulder joints or the insertions for the pec, okay? So if you start to notice that you're getting a lot of stress there, then you may need to change your grip up, okay? So only you can know what this is, and only you can know what the right grip is for you, but just don't be too afraid to change this around depending on what feels right for you. Remember, you want to find the efficient way of moving, not the most inefficient way of moving, all right? Especially when you're doing compound movements, you don't want to put yourself in a biomechanical disadvantage. All right, some people try to do this just to hit a certain point or whatever. I find this is a risk for injury, especially once you go into the heavier poundages and you're doing heavier weight, like 5 reps, 8 reps, you know, you don't want to put yourself in a biomechanical disadvantage because this may lead you to undue stress in an area that wasn't meant to take that type of stress. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like squatting off your toes instead of your heels. You know, this can cause some problems. All right, so just pay attention to that if you're going to do it. It might be right for you, but pay attention. Okay, one guy's commenting and saying a 15-minute workout is perfect for him. And you know, this is another guy trying to reinvent the wheel here or whatever. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to call bullshit on that. A 15-minute workout is not enough to create a championship physique. It might be enough to maintain. It might be enough if somebody's got good genetics to maintain. It might be enough for them to get to a certain level, but you will never get to the elite level training 15 minutes once a day. Okay, that's just not going to happen. I hate to burst your bubble, but yeah, that's just the truth, right? And there's a lot of times people with no profile pictures or no background or whatever, they can say things, and sometimes they might be telling the truth. Sometimes they might be actually sharing something that's very relevant because they have really good genetics and stuff, but I've never met a guy that can train 15 minutes and have a championship level physique. Never. So, okay, this is another question from Picker Dinner. Okay, it's a funny name anyway, Picker Dinner. Okay, another question from Picker Dinner. He's saying that, is it possible for somebody to have a different ratio of fast twitch fibers than he does? And yes, of course, yeah, there's different races, different creeds, different genetic lines and everything where people are built differently. You can just tell by looking at people the way they walk. You could tell that there's going to be different joint ratios, different bone lengths. You know, one guy's legs might be longer in proportion to his lower back. Well, the truth is it's also the same for muscles and muscle fibers. That's why some guys are naturally just awesome endurance athletes, and some people naturally have a higher affinity for power and strength, right? So that's why it's important for you not to just, you know, work out with any training program and say this works for everybody like a blanket statement. It's more important for you to find out how to cater that workout program to you over time. And only by embarking on a journey of trying a training program will you start to learn what is right for you. You know, you'll start to learn what your body's adapting to, what it's not. So it's really like a conversation. Okay, so yes, some people will adapt differently than you are to your training program, and that's why it's important for you to always pay attention, right? Okay, a guy named Chrono saying he does squats at 250 pounds and he does sets of 50 parallel and all that kind of stuff, and he does them, and he's saying that he cannot lift heavier than that because it hurts his upper back, right? His upper traps and his neck, he has some problem in there, and it aggravates that injury. So is there a way that he can just gain muscle mass by doing 250-pound squats, but just upping the reps, you know, from 50 reps to 100 reps at some point? And I would say, yeah, you can gain some muscle mass from that. You must be able to, because if you look at speed skaters, or if you look at long distance cyclists, they get pretty decent quads from largely endurance type training. Okay, they're not doing a lot of power stuff, they're doing endurance. And if you're hitting failure within a minute to 2 minutes, you're still really hitting the muscular endurance side of things in your workout. So yes, you can gain muscle. But the other thing I would recommend to you is to start doing one-legged movements. Change from 2-leg squats to 1-leg squats. So now that 250 pounds will seem really heavy to that one leg, whereas before you couldn't challenge that leg the same way. So that could be your power alternative. Okay, so now you don't need to aggravate your upper back as much anymore, but at least your legs are going to get hit with the fast twitch fibers. You're going to hit those power fibers in the leg, and you will have a better ability to put on some extra muscle from that. Christo Flowers asking me, what do I use to make my beats? So a lot of you guys notice I put music in the background stuff. I make all my own music, and I use Logic Pro 10, and I play all the instruments and stuff and put them all together and do all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the most fun about these workout videos. I actually have more fun making the music than I do making the videos, funny enough, right? So Serge Bolio is asking me if I still play hockey, and the answer to that is no. Okay, so the reason why is this. All right, because of my shoulder injury from hockey and stuff, I don't want to risk, you know, tweaking it or dislocating it anymore. I want to concentrate all the power and all the energy towards weight training. And when I'm doing cardio 2 or 3 times a week, really intense with hockey, you know, the competitive side of me, you know, like anybody playing a sport, will come up, and at that point I'll realize, okay, weight training and bodybuilding or hockey, and I have to choose which one do I really want to make progress in. And depending on what my choice is will depend on what type of eating I do and what type of training I do. And ultimately, if I'm playing hockey, I want to win. So I start eating different types of foods, and I start not training legs on days that I'm going to play hockey. I start not training arms the day before so it doesn't mess up my stick handling, all that kind of stuff. So I found also that from the cardio, the intense cardio that you do in hockey, that I started losing muscle mass on my upper body, especially because my upper body, you know, your body just adapts. It says, why carry the extra chest, the extra back, the extra arms when I don't need it to play hockey? So the body just starts to catabolize some of the muscle tissue that's unnecessary in order to perform at that sport. So I decided, hey, you know, I'm doing this YouTube channel. I got to prove to people that I know what I'm talking about here, and I got to, you know, get my championship physique back here. So I decided to make bodybuilding a priority and stop playing hockey. Even though I do love hockey, hockey is great. So Fernando Cerna is asking if he can do a full body workout Monday to Friday all week, okay, and then take Saturday and Sunday off. Would that be good? You know, and I think that's a great workout. I think it's awesome, but you're going to have to adjust the sets, you know, and the volume and the rep ranges depending on how you're feeling. Okay, so that's the big, I guess you call it caveat, or, you know, that's the really big disclaimer here, is that you have to pay attention, because some days you might walk in the gym and you're, you know, after the first day, you know, you're a little bit tight. Second day after training chest, you might be even sore. Third day, you know, it starts to build up, right? Now on a third day, if you're extremely sore and tight, the last thing you want to do is a 5 rep range on the bench or something like that, because you will injure yourself. So what you want to do then is do a light day or just a stretching day, like I've talked about in some of my other training vlogs, or you want to just take the day off on that body part. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're adjusting the parameters depending on how you are feeling as you're going about the whole body workout thing Monday to Friday. Okay, so don't be doing 30 sets for chest, 30 sets for arms, 30 sets for, you know, and then the next day trying to do it over again. You will overtrain very quickly. You have to adjust your volume based on this. Usually I found that I can get away with about 3 working sets every day for all my body, and then the next day do the same thing. And I usually will stick to rep ranges of 10 to 25 reps, and then the odd time I'll stick in a 6 or 7 rep day doing that type of program. But usually if I'm going to do the 5 to 7 reps, I'll do it in the beginning of the week rather than after 4 or 5 consecutive workouts, because at that point usually I'm a little bit sore, a little bit tight, and I don't want to risk lifting excessively heavy weight and risking injury. Okay, so yeah, you can get away with it. Monday to Friday full body workouts, taking Saturday, Sunday off. That's a great workout program. Just remember, take a day off a body part if you really need it, if you're really sore, if you're just dying, you know, just don't be afraid to take a day off a body part if you really need it, okay? Philip McCauley's asking me if my subscription base has been going up. Have I been getting more subscribers? And answer is yes, you know, but you know, any help you guys can give me by sharing my stuff is great. It really helps me out a lot if you share my stuff on Reddit or Pinterest or anywhere, just to get my message out there, because I can only reach so many people on my own, and I'm really at the mercy of the viewers to share some of my content if you feel it serves you or people you know. Thanks a lot for any of the help you give me there, because, you know, honestly, no YouTube channel really gets ahead without your help, all right? I'm losing the light here. Okay. I'm losing the light. So the last question is from Espir Brink, and he's asking about lagging arms. He says that he's a natural bodybuilder, but his arms are lagging behind the rest of the development of his body. And what should he do? Well, the first thing you do, if you're lagging, if you have a body part that's lagging, is you change it up. You change something up. Obviously, what you're doing is not hitting that area, so you need to change your technique, change your diet, change something that you're doing in order to hit that area, because it's pretty common for your strengths to take over and then your weak points to lag behind because they're not being hit, right? Because your strong points are overpowering. So I've seen this with dumbbell curls or barbell curls, where guys will use all their forearms, or they'll swing a little bit, or they use a lot of their front delt to get that weight up, you know? So you have to find ways to hit that bicep or to make that the weak link. And one way I found to really bring up lagging arms is the incline dumbbell curl, externally rotated just slightly. So if you don't have any shoulder problems or any delt problems, this is a great exercise for you to try, okay? So try that out. So that's enough for the question and answer today. That's all the questions I'll answer today. But if you have any other questions, just put them down below, and I'll do one of these videos once a week, and I'll answer your questions and help you out with your training routine. So thanks a lot for watching, and make sure you visit me at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com if you have a question or something you want to talk to me about, and take care for now.